You have to have a vision of how you want your team to look. In the salary cap era, you have a certain number of resources that you can allocate, whether it's money or draft picks. And so whenever you do something, you're taking it from somewhere else. I mean, there's no way at the stage we are with our team that we can do something major without it coming from somewhere else. So we have to make all those decisions. But I think to kind of put us in a box and say, hey, we're not going to play, and I'm not saying that you're saying that we're not going to pay because historically we haven't done that. I mean, part of what we do is evolve and look at things and see how things are affecting our team, how things are affecting the league, and seeing our place in that. The existing, what's the difference in the existing? Core. Well, I could talk about this team, not going back to 2017. We have a lot of guys who I think are in the prime of their careers under long-term contracts. Not saying that team didn't, who are kind of in this 26, 27, 28-year-old range. And so really we have to do whatever we can to make sure that we keep this window open for as long as possible. The most important season is this one coming up, 2025, and doing whatever we can to maximize that. But we have to get creative to make sure that we're keeping as many of our good players as we can. I sat up here last year and I said that's going to include playing young players. And I think that's going to be a huge part of what we are going forward because we're fortunate enough to have a lot of good players who are making a lot of money. Yeah, I think obviously you got to find the happy medium towards making sure the players are fairly compensated and feeling good about it, and at the same time doing it early enough so you can try to save some cap room, because every time you save some cap room and then you compound it by signing another player, it gives you an opportunity to add other players. And I think it's really important for us to try to identify the guys that we want as quickly as possible and be confident in those evaluations. Not saying we're always going to be right. I think doing that allows you to start the proration a little bit early, which saves some cap room. Yeah, I think you're always trying to find competitive advantages. That's something that we're always looking for. I think that you also have to look at the strengths of the class in free agency and the draft and see what the opportunities really are. You can't just make up opportunities, even if you want to be creative. But I think just to be consistent, we have a vision of how the team's going to look, what's really important for us to continue playing at a high level. And, I think it's my job every year to make sure that we have that as a starting point, as a base when we start the off season. And after that, it allows you to get creative. If you don't really have the pillars of your football team, if you don't have those, it doesn't matter how creative you are, it's going to be hard to win. Yeah. How many years have you been doing this? Yeah, I figured. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about anyone under contract with another team. I think that, you know, one thing that I can promise our fans is that there will not be a player that's available that we won't study, that we won't look at and see if it can help the team. Sometimes those opportunities work, and you're able to do that, and sometimes they don't. I'll come back.